Catus, Maximus here, this time with a tool that's a little bit, I shouldn't say more relevant, but certainly easier to find than that Crescent DuraDriver bit driver. This is the Stanley 6-piece standard steel handle, precision, sometimes called jeweler's screwdriver set. This one is still made today, $10 off of Amazon, although they're unfortunately Chinese. This is a, surprising, this is a more vintage unit that's made in Taiwan. And they've been making these for years. Unfortunately, they moved production of these over to China. And that's all they are. You get, usually with these sets, you get 4 different sizes of flatheads and 2 different sizes of Phillips, a number 0 and a number 1. Not a whole lot else going on here. These are the universal design. I'm not sure who was the very first to come up with this design, but just about everybody who makes cheaper precision screwdriver sets uses this exact design. The straight, not knurling, but the straight flute texturing, the little undercut and the swaging, and then a little hex. This is to help prevent them from rolling around too much. Even though this is a spinner, it still does help prevent them from rolling off the desk. And this is just how they are. Unfortunately, with these Stanleys, I mean, they're okay. If we look at the tip here, it's not great, but it's not bad either. But there are some, deficiencies. We can compare to a few different ones, to tell you the truth. I'll say that as far as these metal handle ones, like these Huskies here, I like these Huskies because what they've done is they just put a big, I believe it's either a cast aluminum or cast zinc body. These things are really heavy, have a lot of density, satin finish, just a little bit deeper of a spinner handle. But you can't get a ton of grip on these just because of how smooth this is, this little flat. But as far as having a weighty set, that's more of a different take on them. And there's a bunch of really cheesy plastic handle ones. And then, of course, there are more professional grade ones, such as these old school American-made rigids. But while you watch on my channels is comparison and details. And what I have is a couple of different sets here. This is a more basic helping hand set, CS Precision. And then I have what I believe is one of the earlier ones. I don't know if they're the originators, but this is a Mark I set. And it's substantially better than a lot of the others that I've seen. Stanley does organize them in a V, where many of these are organized linearly like this. And I kind of actually like the V organization better with the Stanley. But if we compare to, say, this helping hand set, we'll compare the same number 1 drivers. We can see that these Stanleys here use a little bit finer of grip corrugations than this helping hand set. And I kind of like this helping hand set because the thicker, a little bit coarser corrugations just make it so it's just a bit easier. You get just a bit better purchase on those, which is kind of unfortunate. And if we compare to a Mark I set, which is what I'd really recommend trying to find, this is also a number 1 screwdriver. It looks like it's way bigger, but it's actually not. Both of these drivers are indeed number 1. Here's a number 1 Phillips. Fits nice and tight. Same thing on this. This just happens to have a wider shank, so it tends to just grip really fully. And we can see on this Mark I, this is a substantially larger diameter, obviously substantially heavier, and we can see that it also has coarse knurling or coarse grip surface. And so that's what a more premium version of one of these. They just happen to be oversized, and then companies have figured that they can cheap out a little bit and just make them a little bit wider and use, or a little bit narrower and use a little bit less material. So anyway, that's my review of these Stanleys here. Overall, I guess they're okay, but even for $10, you actually have quite a few options. And I would recommend trying to hunt down a little bit better set, especially considering that these are now not even Taiwanese, that these are now Chinese. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Catus Maximus out.